Men North of Richmond. Seems like it's gaining a lot of traction these days. A lot of people are listening to it, and we're going to talk about it today in just a minute. Hello, everybody. This is Tim. Welcome to the Triple T channel. How's your mom and them? Hope everybody is well. This video is brought to you today by coffee. Drink coffee is good for you. Why am I saying that? I'm practicing my pitch voice. What do you think? Any good at all? There's going to be links down below for relevant information related to this video, including the lyrics to this song. Also, if you find the content of my channel valuable, there'll be a link to buy me a coffee down below. Hey, before we go any further, if you would go ahead and like this video, I would appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel would be absolutely fantastic, and hit that bell notification. And share this video with friends and family and on your social media. That would be terrific as well. Let's get all that out of the way and talk about Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. I just heard this song for the first time yesterday, and I'm just going to give you my observations about it. I've been hearing about it for several days, but yesterday I finally broke down and watched his video. And the first thing I want to say about it is this: whatever happened to country music? I think it's been long gone. I mean, whatever happened to Merle Haggard and Conway Twitty and some of these guys? I think, Chris Stapleton is really good. I've got kind of an eclectic taste in music. I can listen to just about any kind of music, except for rap. I got no use for that. But this guy, my first impression of Oliver is he's just seems to me to be just a simple guy, kind of like me, who just one day grabbed his guitar and started playing and singing. He seems to be just a simple country guy who's kind of pissed off. And that is reflective, I believe, of a whole lot of people in the United States right now and around the world who are just pissed off at the way things are going. And I can understand that. I liken it to, if you ever been to Yellowstone National Park? I haven't. I've seen a lot of videos, but it's like a underground cauldron, I guess, of steam, and just they have these geysers all over the park. And of course everybody's heard of Old Faithful, but you just see these geysers just exploding every few minutes or hours or whatever. And Oliver's a big one. He has exploded, and he's got the mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore mentality. And that's going to resonate with people. And I can understand that because I feel the same way. But let's look at some of the things he's saying in this video. He says, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for BS pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. Okay, I feel you, brother. I'm with you so far. It's a shame what the world's gotten to for people like you, me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Yes, Oliver, it is. One of the great lines of the song, I thought, is living in the new world with an old soul. Man, that really hits home with me. I was born in 1961, and I've just watched our culture just ebb away, morally, technologically, in some sense of the word. I don't know that we've improved ourselves, although technology has advanced, but I often think I might have been more comfortable being raised in the 40s or 50s in a simpler time, than this age we're in now. Certainly with the morality. I was reading yesterday that back in the 1940s, now get this if you can, the mayor of New York City was Mayor LaGuardia. You've heard of him, I'm sure. They named an airport after him. In the 1940s, okay, this is less than 100 years ago, Mayor LaGuardia banned pinball machines. He banned them because he thought they may be associated with the mob, and he banned them because he thought it might contribute to bad behavior, or illegal or criminal behavior. So he banned them, actually threw them in the river. Not only that, but mayors in Chicago and Los Angeles followed suit. Now, can you imagine that today? Can you contrast that with where we are today? Of course, back then, you could walk down the street in New York City, no doubt. and LA and Chicago. Can't do that anymore, not like you could at one time anyway. And I can identify with that, and that's why this lyric of being an old soul kind of resonates with me. I think I prefer older times and the traditional morality of those older times. As long as I can still have dentistry and plumbing and electricity and refrigeration, then I think we're good to go. But anyway, he says, these rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Well, that's true. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, because your dollar ain't boom, 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 and it's taxed to no end because of rich men north of Richmond. Well, that's true. Of course, rich men north of Richmond, he's talking about Washington, D.C., and I would assume he's talking about the politicians in Congress, and I would add to that the bureaucrats who are unelected and just stay for life. Do you know the suburbs of Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, Alexandria, Fairfax, places like that? These places have the biggest concentration of wealth in the United States. It's not Beverly Hills. It's not South Florida. It's the Washington, D.C. metro area. That's where the bulk of, or the most concentrated area of wealth, the biggest homes, the most expensive homes. Why is that? What industry is there? There's no industry there. There's just the seat of government. That's what's there. Now, I have maintained that these politicians who get elected, they do one thing. They do anything they can do to get elected. And after they get elected, they do anything they can do to stay in power. Anything. Look at the woman I mentioned the other day, Dianne Feinstein. This woman, I don't know if she knows where she is. She's over 90 years old, the senator from California. She looks like death warmed over, but she will not resign. The Senate is an exclusive club that people will do anything to get into. And once they get in there, they're pretty much in for life. Rarely do they get turned out. It's kind of like, I went one time to the Masters, to the Augusta National Golf Course, extremely exclusive, but I got in with a ticket. What a place. It's like heaven on earth. But, you just can't join Augusta National. You've got to be somebody. You've got to have more than money. You've got to have reputation. You've got to have some major accomplishments. You got to be the head of a Fortune 500 company or an ex-president or something like that. And that's how the Senate is. It is an exclusive club. George Carlin said it best, the late George Carlin, the comedian. And he was making this observation about government. And he said, government is an exclusive club. It's just one big fat country club, and you ain't in it. And he's exactly right. The sad part about it is that guys like Oliver can, they can express their anger, and they should express their anger. It's good for them to express their anger. But what can you actually do about it? Well, we can vote. And we can raise our voices. And there can be political change. I really believe that. But it usually takes some sort of major crisis. Now, I think some major crises are on the horizon in America, particularly financial, because we are running such huge deficits. We have over $30 trillion in debt. That's unfathomable. And there's nothing we're ever going to be able to do about that. It's never going to get paid off. And I personally believe that we are headed for what I call the Great Default. I think eventually we're going to default on our debt. And maybe that will create enough political unrest to change a few things. I don't know. But, that's a really tall order. It's a really tall order. But he's frustrated, and I feel his frustration. He said, I wish politicians would look out for miners and not just miners on an island somewhere. I'm assuming that's a reference to Epstein's private island. Well, I'm for them looking after both, of course. Look, we got folks in the street ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. And here comes what may be the best line of the song. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Amen, brother. How many times have you been in a store and you've seen able-bodied people fill up their buggies with crap food, go up and pay for it with an EBT card? Oh, that just sets me off, I gotta tell you. I'm not against helping people, but I am against able-bodied people not working when they can work, and their jobs plenteous. I just wasn't raised that way. He just said it's a shame what this world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. I wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. So much of our heartache is because of these rich men north of Richmond, and women. And to me, he's really hitting a chord here. He really resonates with me, because he's right. It's these rich men in this exclusive club north of Richmond. Some of them are senators, some of them are members of Congress, but I would say most of them are unelected bureaucrats who get appointed by these elected politicians, and they never leave. I mean, how much government do we really need? And how many years does an elected official really need to stay in office? A term, 2 terms, 3 terms? Or should they be in there for decades? Not only not helping us, but enriching themselves. Hello, Nancy Pelosi. Hello, Mitch McConnell. We have a uni-party. This transcends party lines. It's not just Democrats. It's not just Republicans. It's across lines. These people, they're so self-important. You just can't have Congress without them. I mean, the whole thing would collapse if they weren't there. Well, that is nonsense. Some of these people need to retire, for heaven's sakes. Mitch McConnell needs to go. Nancy Pelosi needs to go. Go enjoy your mansion down in South Florida. Oliver Anthony is one pissed off country boy, and I am as well, and I think some of you probably are as well. What can we do about it? Well, you can grab your guitar and write a song. Might go viral like him. You can grab your camera and start a channel just like I did. Might go viral, hopefully it will. And of course, you can vote, you can call, you can do whatever you can. The great Mark Gruber addresses this problem one time of what do we do? There's so many frustrated, pissed off Americans. Well, what can we do other than vote? You can do something. You can do something, folks. Just like I said, grab your guitar, grab your camera, do something, talk to your neighbors. Change starts at the ground level, and we can change things in this country. But we got to get busy, got to get cracking, got to get going, got to do something about these rich men north of Richmond. Trailer Trash Tim, thanks for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.